Howdy. Afternoon. Yeah, well, still morning. I like to do these things in the morning. Pretty area, isn't it? This is part of the area referred to as Hungryland Slough. And it's got quite a good bit of history. I figured today I'd take this time to tell you all about the Hungryland woman, how this area got its name. It was back during the Second Seminole War, around towards the end, around the 1840, 1841. It was after the Battle of Okeechobee. A band of Seminoles made up of Seminoles and Maroons, which were the black Seminoles, had escaped the Battle of Okeechobee and had working their way east, southeast, and came through this area. And it was during the dry season, we figured, because the dragoons, or the mounted cavalry, caught up with them at a hammock. Now, a hammock is an island of trees, similar to that on the other side of this marsh here. And well, they caught up with them, and the Seminoles were all in the hammock, and a couple representatives, a couple of leaders from the Seminoles came out and met up with the officers of the dragoons. And the dragoons, the soldiers, told them, you got to leave this place. You got to go west to Oklahoma. You got to leave here. This is no longer your land. And one of the Seminoles made the statement that this is our homeland. We can't leave. This is our homeland. And one of the officers smarted off, said, it'll be your Hungryland if you don't leave, because we'll starve you out. Well, a few colorful metaphors, I'm sure, were passed back and forth. Seminoles went back into the hammock, and the dragoons proceeded to try and go around the hammock, surround it, riding around it, trying to figure a way they could get in. Well, it started turning dark pretty soon, and the Seminoles had lit lights, fires, all the way around the hammock so they could see, so that the dragoons couldn't attack. And this went on for weeks, up to 3 weeks. And it was pretty frustrating to the soldiers. Well, one night, the fires weren't lit. So the dragoons rushed into the hammock to find that the Seminoles had long since gone. They had probably left while they're having that little parley out in front of the hammock. Well, what they did find was one old black Seminole woman, one old Maroon woman. And what she had done was every night, to save her people, she stayed behind and she lit those fires until she finally dropped dead of starvation, as she'd eaten all she could find in that hammock. And the soldiers were so taken with her sacrifice for her people, they honored her. They buried her there on that hammock, and they built a monument to her. And we figured that monument was probably most likely made out of wood, because no one's ever found which hammock that was. Just exactly where the Hungryland woman, which is what they called her from then on, the Hungryland woman, because no one knew her name, was buried. A nameless, faceless hero of the marshlands, of Hungryland Slough. And no one knows where she was at. And it's said by some fellers who go out here hunting at night, sometimes in the winter, during the dry season, just sometimes around some of the hammocks, you can see kind of phantom lights, phantom fires being lit. Just a glimmer of one. Anyways, this is Keith Stambaugh with the School of Wood Lore and Common Sense. I hope you enjoyed this shade tree chat. Part of the lore of wood lore, part of the whole culture of it, is history, local stories. And to know where it is that you're walking, what had happened, where you're at. It's just land. It's not just land that just popped up. The land has history. Where you're walking, where you're hunting, where you're camping, where you're fishing. People have gone before you, and sometimes they've fought, died, fought and lived, struggled, so that you can go popsing across the land freely, and for most part safely. So anyways, just keep Stanball School, Woodler, and Common Sense. Hope you enjoyed this story. Hope you enjoy our videos. And we'll catch you on the next one. Y'all take care.